to the World Wide Web, and thank you for clicking. This is our extra slice of the It Pays to Watch pie.
This is the bit where you get to ask Martin your questions, and he's on the back foot, really, aren't you? But first, you've got a story?
Well, it happened because when we were just waiting to start recording this, I started telling you a story about what happened at the bank charge case, and you all want me to finish it, so let you lot catch up. This is the point. I'm in the High Court. I'm going there. It's full of barristers in suits. I'm the only person not in a suit in the whole place, right? I'm sitting there. I have scheduled interviews with ITN News, BBC News, CNN News, Sky News. The paparazzi are waiting outside to take the photo. No, it's important. Let's set all this up. I've got newspaper interviews set up and interviews with every major radio station. The judge does the announcement. And I didn't really understand it. Right? So, 450 paragraphs long. I get that handed to me as I'm walking out. I've got 1 minute before I'm on the telly. And most of what it said was in legalese, and I sort of got it. And I went to this... There's a barrister there, and I didn't know which side he was on, because there were the bank's barristers and the OFD's barrister. And I walked up to him and said, "Excuse me." He went, "Yeah." I said, "Can I just check? He did just say that unfair contractual terms rules could apply, didn't he?" He went, "Yeah." So I said, "So we've won?" And he went, "That's right, son. You've won." So then I went outside, I did the interviews, I got on there. But for one moment, I was sitting there going...
Not for the first time.
No.
Now, listen, that was a very entertaining story, but now it's time for you to catch up with Hayley and Zara, see what they made of your advice.
Hello, you two.
Hi.
So what did you think of flights on the internet, then?
It's much easier than what I thought it would be, like, to find a cheap flight.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is, in a way, it's almost like, is that it?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Exactly.
You go on there, you plug your details in, it tells you the cheap flight, and you can do it. I mean, we had luck in the destinations that you chose. New York is quite a good one, actually. I think Malaga was the other one we had in the envelope, and one other, so it could have gone either way. But the savings were huge. If you'd booked... Now, Howard, you'd normally not have gone on the internet at all. You'd have gone through a travel agent, wouldn't you?
Probably, yes.
Yeah, and you'd have probably had somewhere in the middle, because they would have at least tried to find you a cheaper price, but you wouldn't have got the internet-level price. Which appealed more, the specific dates or the flexible stuff? I mean, did you... the flight checker stuff?
For me, it's the flexible ones, really.
Just because it's so cheap?
Yeah, I mean, I have certain times when I can't go on holiday, so it's nice to be able to see when I can and that sort of thing.
So the big question, have I changed your travel booking habits?
Yes.
You're gonna have a go?
Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you for... They were wonderful. Give them a round of applause, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And look, what I've got here. I've got a Ruth as well, and everyone, we've all come to talk to you. The savings stuff. You had a look of horror on your face when I talked about savings.
It terrified me that I know there was all the Northern Rock thing and people queuing around the block to get their money out because they were so frightened. But when you said that, you're only protected, really protected up to a certain amount of money in any bank savings account, that really, I just hadn't really taken that in, despite, me being a journalist and knowing about the news and all of the Northern Rock stuff. I hadn't absorbed that.
I tell you, I wrestle with the balance on this particular issue, to be honest with you, because by providing the information, and it's information I wouldn't have told you 2 years ago, pre-Northern Rock, to be honest, I would have just let it pass, and in fact the rules were different. Yeah, because we were in a different scenario then.
Banks were safe as houses.
Well, exactly. And so now I say it, but I'm aware that by saying it, you're almost adding to the scaremongering.
Yes.
So there's this balance, if you can understand, in my job between providing the information and allowing people to draw unnecessary conclusions by the fact I'm providing the information.
Yeah, but what you said was very balanced in a way, because I've been thinking about it since you said it. And, yes, I mean, I could divide it up into smaller pots and just put a different pot into each bank.
Yeah, I mean, trying to put... I mean, in fact, you'd need 17 different institutions or something.
Yeah, and that's too much.
And it's institutions, not accounts. Right, so it's not... You can't have it 2 different accounts with 1 bank. That doesn't work.
Oh, right.
So, in fact, what you do with your money is you try just to mitigate risk. The likelihood of a bank going down, it's unlikely.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, I used to say it was ridiculously,
and
unthinkably unlikely.
It happening to Northern Rock, but
it's unlikely. The interesting thing is the likelihood of any individual bank going down, this is going to sound weird now, is extremely unlikely. Because the chance that one of the banks will go, but the chance of it being the bank you've got your money in is much more unlikely.
Yeah, but I tell you what, I think I'd rather have it in bricks and mortar somehow. It feels really
I tell you what,
unsafe.
Property really isn't as safe as houses.
No, but at least you've got to have
your
something
money,
to live in there,
if you're looking for safety, your money is safer in the bank. Your money is safer in the bank. Yeah, lots of things can happen to your property, and property prices can go down. The likelihood, I mean, we're talking an unlikely event of any bank going bust and you losing that money, right? But what you have to do is we have to say, Is there a way I can mitigate my risk without losing any real amount of interest? The difference between the top 5 savings accounts is 0.15%. You're 1.5% below those when we start with. So what we're saying is, am I prepared to lose on a huge sum, you know, £500,000 plus, a few £100 a year to have much greater security because it's spread? The answer to that is probably yes. If I said to you, I mean, well, I'm going to put it in somewhere that doesn't pay interest but give me guaranteed safety, I think you were bonkers. So this is a balance of the risk of losing your money versus the interest that you're going to earn. And I think, you know, don't start panicking in what I've said. I'm just talking about sensible planning strategies. Not, it's going to go mad! That certainly isn't going to happen.
I've got Irish blood in me, and I need to have Tara. You know?
Yeah, OK. You want to be safe.
I need to know where my nest is.
Well, your nest is fine, but you can increase the interest and increase the safety in one go, so go do that. Oh, you are going to, I presume? Yeah, and I know you listen. So
I take your advice, I do.
I know, it's nice.
You have worked wonders.
Thank you very much.
The only thing I would say is, you know, you do have to concentrate and you have to have the time to do it. And when I haven't done it before, and I think that's like a lot of people, it's simply because they haven't got the time.
I know you had a question for
Yeah, I just
Anne.
want to tell her first, though, Anne, I had an uncle who kept a couple of £100,000 under the floorboards in his bedroom, but you don't want to do that.
I tell you what, the chances of having that nicked is much greater than the chance of having a bank go bust.
Exactly. Now, my question for you is, you said you've got 4 kids. Which one, if any, extrapolates more money from you?
Oh, that's a good question. But the other 3 would say the little one, the youngest. They all think each other gets away with murder. And actually, I don't know, I mean, I've got 2 at university at the moment, and they're both at London universities, which means that I am actually paying for 2 London apartments, if you like, as well as everything else. So they're very expensive at the moment. They think they're not, but they really are.
Well, I'll tell you what you should do. You know the mobile phone bills?
Yeah.
You're paying for it. They're theirs, some of them, aren't they?
Yeah, the oldest one pays for his own, but
fair enough. The other 3.
Doesn't...
When I did my Teen Cash class, which was teaching kids about money, which I did for a TV programme, the biggest test I gave them was how to haggle and negotiate a mobile phone bill. It is a great piece of financial education. Get them to do it. Hopefully they'll save you some money. Get them to do their pre-reading.
Well,
you know, but also it's great education.
My oldest changed his, and then he's going to get all his brothers to, and he's going to recommend them, and they get £30 for recommending each other.
Yeah, but they might not be the best tariff. They need to go and use a comparison site first to see what the best one is.
So they're trying to play your game, but they're not as good as you yet.
Well, hopefully not. I don't want to lose my job. But it's a great lesson. It's a great, easy way to get kids into finance, mobile phone bills, because it's something quite expensive that they actually comprehend. You know, they can't comprehend a mortgage at 14. It matters to them.
The mobile matters.
Anyway, lovely. Anne, thanks so much for coming in. It's been fascinating to talk to you and Diamond,
really
everyone.
Thank you.
OK, Martin, you might have shown us how to book cut-price air travel. You may have shown Anne how much you could save each year, so it's only fair that this lot here get the chance to ask you some questions. These are them here. And our first person is Brenda. Where's Brenda?
I always hate the first question. I really have no idea what's coming. And I'm just like, oh, don't ask me one I'm not good on today.
What would you like to ask him? Get him, Brenda.
When I switch my energy, do I go through moneysupermarket.com, a cashback site, or can I do both?
Generally, you can't do both. Money Supermarket is a comparison site. If you then go through it and you do a dual fuel, it will give you £30 cashback. So it's the best cashback for dual fuel. Should do a quick point on that. Don't automatically assume dual fuel is cheaper, though. 2 single suppliers could also be cheaper. So in which case, Money Supermarket isn't the best cashback. Then go to a cashback website. We explained what they were in the programme last week, so I'm not going to come on. If you don't know, if you go onto moneysavingexpert.com, which I'm allowed to mention in the web bit, then you can read about cashback sites. The answer's quite simple. You're going to get £30 through Money Supermarket. Once Money Supermarket tells you you're cheapest, if you're using it, go to a cashback site, see if that supplier is cheapest and is paying cashback on the cashback site. And if it's paying more than £30, you go that way. If it's paying less than £30, you go through Money Supermarket. But not that many energy suppliers are on cashback sites. So you do the comparison first for the answer, and then you go to the cashback site.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thanks very much, Brent. You're looking good on it anyway. Where's Paul? Oh, hello.
That was easy for you, wasn't it, Cheat?
I've been running
We like
a lot
watching
today,
you
so
run.
Exactly. What do you want to ask him?
When buying National Rail tickets, what's the best way to get a discount? And is there any way you can go through local council?
Let's take this from the beginning. If you're going to book, the easiest place is to Rail Easy, and the train line will give you the information. But if you actually want to book it the cheapest, then you go to the individual rail company who's selling you the ticket, because then you don't have to pay any booking fees. The real savings on train ticket, though, comes on being clever about what you're booking. let me give you an example. First of all, London to Manchester, you can't get saver returns during peak time in the morning, but you can get saver singles. So you buy 2 saver singles, not a return, because that's not a saver. The next one, split ticketing. Who's heard of split? Have you heard of split ticketing? No. Anyone here heard of split ticketing? You have, because you must be a user of my site if you're doing all the bank charges. Yeah. Right, split ticketing. Get ready for this. This one's big, right? Now, I'm going to sort of make up the numbers because I've not checked recently, but it's scale of magnitude that counts. You buy a ticket from London to Penzance. Standard return is about 220 quid. The train stops in Bath, just stops in Bath. If you were to buy a ticket from London to Bath, Bath to Penzance, Penzance back to Bath, Bath back to London, travelling on the same train. So you have split your tickets, not the journey. You with me? So no difference to you whatsoever. It's perfectly legitimate. You can do that instead of 220 for about 46 quid. All in. So we've been desperately trying to build a tool to do this calculation for you. We're working on it. It's being very difficult. So the real key is, first of all, check whether there are any saver singles. Secondly, travel off-peak if you can. Third, if you can't travel peak, get ready for this. Let's say peak finishes at 9:30. Your train starts at 8:30, but it's a 2-hour journey. Think about it. The first hour's peak, the second hour's not peak. You've bought a peak ticket for the 2 hours. So buy a peak ticket for the first hour and then find the station that you're in when you're no longer peak, and then buy an off-peak ticket for the remainder of the journey. Split your ticket, not the journey. Those are the biggest ways to save on rail.
That's fantastic.
OK.
Now, where's Aruna? Hey, hello, lovey. What do you want to ask him?
If the banks win the court cases, is this the end of free banking?
It's a complicated argument, this one, and something... I mean, this is one I get some very nasty emails from people, really nasty emails from people about this. My view is, if bank charge reclaiming is successful and everybody gets their money back, it isn't the end of free banking for a number of reasons. One, free banking doesn't exist. You have... Who's got an overdraft in here? Is your bank free? Right, we have fees-free banking if you are in credit. Not free banking is the first point, but lots of people call it free banking. The second point is this. Right now, we have a ferociously competitive current account market. 2 banks offer you 0% interest for a year on an overdraft. 2 banks offer you 8% interest on your current account. They are desperate to pull your business in. Any bank who starts charging a fee will hemorrhage customers. People will leave it. If you were forced to pay a fee, would you ditch your bank? Second reason, lack of competitiveness. And the third thing I would say, and this is really important, the banks are trying to spin this is danger for free banking. Put this in perspective. We've had about £1 billion paid out on reclaiming so far. Perhaps another £1 billion in the ones on hold, maybe another £1 billion after that if we get this done. That's £3 billion. The Bank of England injected £50 billion due to the credit crunch. We've had write-offs from the banks of £7, £8 billion due to their management systems about bad debt provisions. Admittedly, that's worldwide banking. But banks are constantly looking for ways to boost their profits. If they could do this, they would have done it already. They're looking, if they want an excuse, they'll use it. But rest assured, the real reason, if they need to try and push more money any way they can, is due to their management and the credit crunch, not due to bank charges. That's small potatoes compared to the cost of the credit crunch. Make sense?
Thank you. Yeah, that's an excellent question. Brilliant. OK, where's Angela? Hello.
Hi, Angela.
I'll come round this side. What do you want to ask him?
I've been following your tips on stoozing.
Good.
And I'm just about to transfer money I owe on one credit card to a new credit card.
Right.
For, a continued
0%.
period. Yes.
So 12 months, 50 months.
Would you recommend I close the old credit card?
OK. Quickly for everybody at home, and for who knows what stoozing is? Hands up if you know what stoozing is. Just you and me, then. Oh, 3 of us, 4 of us. OK, a few of us. Stoozing is making free money from credit cards. It's quite complex. You can read about it. But in a nutshell, if the credit card's willing to lend you money at 0% interest, if you take its money and put it in a bank account at 6% interest, you're earning interest on money it's lent you for now. You're making profit. You make quite a lot of money a year. We had one guy on who made £11,000 from doing this. Stoozing can be big. I presume you're not that big, though. No. Right. The real question here is it worth cancelling a credit card? On the surface, the answer is yes. If you cancel a credit card, you get 2 benefits. 1, you now have less outstanding available credit, which is good for your credit score for new applications. And 2, in about 18 months' time, you'll be eligible for new customer deals again, so you might be able to get another 0% with the same card. The answer being no would be on specific credit cards, Barclaycard, Egg, MBNA, I would think of, who offer you balance transfer deals as existing customers. If you need it, Barclaycard will give anyone who calls up an ass, or almost anyone, 6.9% for life. MBNA will often do 0% for 6 months. Egg will give you an anniversary 0%. So if it were one of those cards and you might actually need that type of borrowing in the future, I wouldn't cancel it. But as a general rule of thumb, to the card.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Good luck on the Stoozy.
Thank you, Martin. As always, a constructive answer for everyone. He deserves some warm, money-saving applause. Give him a clap.
Right, look, next Wednesday, we shall have a new slice of the More Show for you up here on the web.
While over on 5's telly show, we'll have a healthy helping of how to cut your food bill.
Look, we all know prices are soaring, and the competition watchdog, the OFT, Office of Fair Trading, also has the supermarkets firmly in their sights for alleged price fixing? I'll pop again. Fixing.
As you'd expect, Martin here has the tools, techniques and lots more besides. Oh, yes, all designed so you can buy more for less. So join us then when, as always,
it pays to watch.